1, 2, 3. We're getting started here.
Welcome to the Famous Cat Podcast. I'm your host, Alex. In today's episode, we have Mario Trejo on. It was really great to hear how he came up with skateboarding in the 80s, some of the first shops to go around, the people he grew up skating with, his family life, his thoughts on skateboarding in the Olympics, how he got into music, and going on tour in Japan. If you're a fan of Texas skateboarding and San Antonio skateboarding, you're going to love this episode. So thank you for watching and enjoy. Introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Mario Trejo.
Shit, let me go there.
I skateboard and did play music for a while and all that fun stuff. From San Antonio, and still here.
Awesome, man. Yeah, what band were you in?
I was in a lot of bands. The last band, the Grasshopper lies heavy, which I'm actually playing not a reunion show, but I got called into duty, so to speak. They were like, hey, all of our other bass players aren't available. Can you do this gig? And I'm like, sure. So that's what I've been doing like every weekend. So, but yeah, I played with them for 14 years.
You're just jumping in and like sort of just filling in here and there?
Yeah, but then I was in it like hardcore, like toured, did the United States tour, albums, recording, did Japanese tour, which was really fun. Japan's awesome.
Yeah. I remember you saying that you went to Japan and you had all these photos and stuff. That's sick.
Yeah. No, it was fun. It was a lot of work. People were like, "Oh, do you have a lot of fun?" I'm like, "Yeah," but it was like work. Like we would, the shows there would start early, and we'd be back at the hostel, sleep, wake up, get ready, go to the next show because they start early there. So, but it was fun. It was a great.
How did you guys like take your gear over there? Like, is that
so? There in Japan, they have gear there at the clubs.
Oh,
so what you do as an American, you send off what you need, and they give you like a cost per night. So the better the gear, the more it's going to cost you. So it's kind of a give and take, but we just basically took our guitars and basses, effects pedals. I condensed everything down, put it all in a really heavy duty bass TSA hard case, and hoped that it got there on time. And then when we got there, I had a gig bag that I actually, those like travel bags that you can like put vacuum seal on and like make everything smaller. I used that to make it real small, got everything in there. So left the case at the hostels, and then we would go on the trains. I would just have my gig bag because I wasn't going to carry a case all over Japan.
That's fucking awesome. So what cities did you guys play?
We played Tokyo for like 5 dates, and Tokyo's humongous. So it sounds like, why did you play Tokyo 5 times? Because it's bigger than New York City. It's humongous.
Really?
It's gigantic. It's like 3 New York cities in one.
That's sick.
And then we did Nara. I'm trying to remember. Kyoto. Gosh, where else did we play? I mean, yeah. Most of from the main city, from Tokyo all the way down. We didn't get to do Osaka. I wanted to do Osaka, but we didn't get to do Osaka. But everybody says Osaka's cool because it's very westernized. So it's like you're actually playing like in the States. So, but yeah, we were there for like 3 weeks or something. It was wild.
The trains, were they easy to navigate? Do they have those bullet trains?
Yeah, they have the regular trains. And then when we left Tokyo, we took a bullet train, and that was insane.
What is it, like going like 100 like miles an hour or something?
Like 150. So I think the newest one they just came up is like 200 miles per hour.
It feels seamless, right? Apparently.
Yeah,
I heard.
It's wild, man.
It
feels like you're in a. I guess like you're not in an airplane per se, but like you're just like flying. And
it feels like smooth.
Yeah, smooth.
That's crazy.
Took a nap. Next thing you know, you're like in a whole other part of the country.
That's insane.
Like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's so cool. That's what we need here.
Oh,
that would be so cool. Imagine being able to get to like Dallas in like 30 minutes. Like,
I was just talking about this the other day. I was like, what they should have done is like literally a bullet train from like McAllen all the way up to like Fort Worth. Like that's what should have happened, but that's not going to happen.
Awesome. Here, I'm going to put a little. So when did you skateboarding? Like, how did that happen? Did you just like start? Most people they're in middle school, maybe they start skating. Did you have friends that skated? Like, what made you want to pick up a board or get into it?
So, like most kids, in the mid 80s, a certain movie came out called Back to the Future, and that kind of set the path of my life. Mr. Marty McFly being a skateboarder musician. So that's what kind of got me interested. Of course, immediately I was like, I need a skateboard. And my parents were like, no. And they said, but we'll get you like a blue, what they call banana board or whatever. I guess what were the ones that came out like 10 years ago? They were all the pennies. It was something like that, but like from the 80s. And I just thought I never let it go. So then my parents were like, well, just learn on that one, which you can't learn very much on those. And kind of interestingly enough, the neighbors who moved in next to me, their kid was a skateboarder. I must have been like 7 or 8 at the time, and he was probably like 13. And his parents built this crazy mini in the back with one side that was really tall and one side that was really short. So it was really, they would drop in and use it as a wall ride and come down. So I was like, oh shit. So I would just watch them, but I was too scared to join them because I had this little banana board and whatnot.
And you're younger?
And I was younger. And, you know, it was like this was like 86, 87. So like, you know, straight up something out of like, you know, Gleam in the Cube, or they had the little flop haircut, all that stuff, dude. They had all that fashion stuff. But they ended up moving out, but they left the mini there.
So it was a full, like, was it a pretty good, well, you were young. It was a pretty good mini then?
It looked humongous to me.
Right.
I think now thinking about it, it was probably like maybe 3 feet by, like I said, again, they had a wall that went up. So it was like 5 feet maybe. So it was weird. So then these other family moved in, these kids moved in, they were more my age, and they were like, you want to play? And I was like, yeah. And like, I took my board and I was like, I can't drop into this. So I would just like roll. And it was terrible because it was on that blue banana board. So it just...
What brand was it? Like
probably something from like... What was around here back in the... Like the Target was like over here back in the day. Probably something from like Target or something, or... You know,
what side of town is that? Was that like?
I was like right here.
Oh, right around here.
Yeah,
okay.
410, Cherry Ridge, this area.
Yeah.
And I kind of let it die because I was like, I can't get into this. When we moved, I started going to another school, and when I got there were a bunch of kids skating. So I was like 3rd grade, so like nine-ish.
That's so young.
So yeah, it's
That's
really
awesome.
young, really young. And my dad was like, okay, he's not letting this go. So we'll get you a board. So I was like stoked because I was already like, I'm going to go get a Thrasher magazine. And my parents let me get a Thrasher magazine like at 9. I think it had Jay Adams on the front of it in a pool, like just doing like a frontside slash. Look, I was like, this is amazing. But we ended up going to like a pulga and getting like a little, you know, $15, $20 board. It looked cool, but like plastic trucks. And I skated that thing until the thing broke. And
I feel that.
Yeah. So then, like, you know, my dad was like, well, let me check it out. My mom at the time worked close to Zulu's skate shop. So she was like, I'll go check it out, see how much stuff is. And when she came back, she's like, this stuff's expensive. Like, you know, like we can't afford this. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, whatever. So of course, what's the next step? You go, what can I get that'll last? And it's like a Veriflex board. And that one lasted me, no joke, probably till I was like in 7th grade. Because then I stopped for a minute, put it down, came back. By the time I was in my freshman year, I think I was like, okay, I want to really do this. So my parents were like, well, what do you want to do to earn this board, essentially? And I was like, well, whatever I need to do. So I started doing yard work. And then my parents, they went to this kind of mid-sized church, and one of the ladies is a teacher, and she was basically like, hey, I'm going out of town, need somebody to take care of my yard. And I was like, how much? She was like, I'll pay you whatever, probably something real cheap. That's how I earned my money. I went saved up. I went to Fast Forward at North Star Mall, and I got a Powell plane deck. They used to have these kind of price point decks, and they had a plane on it, like from like the 40s or something. And I got that, some Venture like feather lights. I can't really remember all this. And there was a company called Direction Wheels, and probably like some cheap bearings. And that's when, like, by that time it was like probably spring of my freshman year, maybe. I just got into it, and that's kind of where I really like just like 14 or 15 just got hard into it.
And that what is that, like 80, 90?
Nah, by this time it was like 93, 94.
Okay.
And so at that time, like, also it's like the shift in culture had changed here in San Antonio. It's like skateboarding had kind of died. So you were really risking it socially to start skateboarding at that time.
Because the ramps were over. Like
that was dead. I didn't get to skate any of that stuff.
Didn't have like Ramp and Rage?
Ramp and Rage. I never got to go there. So everything for me was street, and everything for me was like spots. I didn't know anybody with a mini. I didn't know anybody that even built a kick ramp or nothing. So I just made it up as I went in my neighborhood.
At that point in time, what was your spot like that you skated? Was it your driveway? Like where did you? Yeah. Was there a spot that you remember like, oh man, this is where I first learned whatever, like that everybody has that like kind of first place that they skate.
Yeah, my driveway, and then my elementary school, Colby Glass Elementary, which ended up being a big spot for like a lot of the Good Times guys.
The 8's there.
Yep, the 8's there.
The 8's there.
Yeah. The 8's there. But I skated all the small stuff there.
Let's get back on. Where we at? Just sort of like in your
driveway. Colby Glass.
Colby Glass. The 8.
Yeah. I threw a couple tricks down that.
Yeah, that's where. So I was there like my freshman year. I mean, freshman summer specifically, because I got the board, and there was nobody skating there. There was nobody, and that's like where I got my first like real good board slide, real good 50-50, and
were you on what?
There's I don't think it's there anymore. There's a double side ledge, the curb there. I don't think it's there anymore. And then I would skate the park across from it, which has like a pool, and I would just skate the flat there. There's a basketball court there.
There is a pool there, right?
Yeah, and it's still there. They actually redid everything over there. It's actually all shaded, like at the park. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like right across.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, and I learned kind of my basics there. There used to be a gap there where you could go from like one thing to another. And I was skateboarded by myself most of the summer. And then fall of my sophomore year, so this would have been like fall 94, 90, I think, yeah. Some kids just rolled down the street. And I was like, what the hell? Like, who are y'all? And they were like, oh, we live across Hillcrest. And it was like 4 or 5 guys. And they were like, we're going to go skate St. Luke's, like Catholic church. Like off of 410 in Callahan. And I was like,
oh, is that the one that has that big double set with the big rail?
Yes.
Yes.
And I was like, okay. And you got to remember, there's no cell phones back then. And my parents were cool with me going out as long as I came home by a certain time. And I was like, shoot, I got like 2 hours. Like, let's go, dude. And I just followed them. And it was kind of my neighborhood, so I knew where we were going, but I didn't know some of the back ways. And next thing you know, we're at...
They took you the back way. Yeah.
St. Luke's. There's like a 3-set there.
It's a good covered. It's a covered area, so you can kind of skate in there like when it's raining.
In the middle, it's like a hallway, so we would do lines. You could do like the 3-set, come down, do all this other stuff. But that's when we started waxing a lot of the ledges there, and again, that's where we started. Those guys, I started learning stuff there, and
you're already board sliding. That's sounds like you learned pretty quick
at that point. But that's the thing. Like I feel like since I didn't have anybody, I didn't have any progression. Like I didn't have anybody to like teach me. So even like bombing a hill, like with those guys, like I learned how to like bomb these hills and, toe drag and try to power slide out of stuff, And then with these guys, there was one guy in particular, he was really, really good. And he's the one that taught me how to like pop better and heel flips. He was real good at heel flips back then. And of course, this is like, 95. So by then, it's like, okay, I have a crew, but they don't go to high school with me. So
they went to a different school.
They went to a different school. They were a little bit younger than me, and they went to private schools around there. Forgot what they were called, but yeah, they all ended up going to Jeff essentially.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So. It's crazy back, like, because I grew up skating in the like 2000, like 99, but like even then, like cell phones still weren't a thing. Like they maybe like your parent had a cell phone, but they're expensive, so you didn't have one. You remembered everybody, you called everybody on the phone, landlines. But like when you were skating I remember you'd skate a spot and you'd run into another skater somehow, and it was like you were instantly like, you skate, I skate. Like, it's like you were instant friends.
Yeah.
And then you would talk to them, and then they'd like maybe you were in some side of town you weren't used to, and they would take you to their local little spot, and it was like a cool little like adventure. That's how it was, right? I mean, I'm sure it was the same for you.
Yeah. I mean, we stuck to that area, and then once you figured out like, oh well, there's like, let's go down this way and that, and then we'd run into older guys who, of course, were very much back then. They were gatekeeping spots, so they wouldn't tell you about them. But then you would catch them at a spot, and they'd be like, oh, well, now we know where this is. And then they'd be kind of standoffish, and then they'd be cool with you. I mean, even the same spots that we skate today, like the bingo curbs on Fredericksburg, like...
That's an old school
Dude,
one.
I was skating that like
for
when
years
I was like
ago?
16. Yeah.
That's sick, yeah.
So it's funny to go there sometimes and look at it differently now that I'm older and be like, well, I can't do that anymore, but I can't do this, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, even... I mean, it's just so weird. Yeah. I mean, back then, like you said, I mean, even in my days, like mid to late 90s, like you had a bunch of quarters. That's how you called people if you were out on the street. And finding spots was just finding spots. And then you would hear about, okay, well, like, let's go to Lee. Like, let's go to Lee. How do we get there? I don't know. Let's go to Crossroads, get a bunch of bus, schedules and figure out how to get to Lee, or figure out how to get to Jeff in a easier manner than just paddling all the way over there, pushing all the way over to Jeff, which we would do many times, Yeah. So you spend half the time actually pushing to a spot.
Yeah. Yeah. You skated everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
It's like, I always think now, it's like, why do my wheels last so much longer now? It's like, dude, I'm driving everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I remember going through wheels like crazy back when I was younger, but it's like, yeah, you're pushing everywhere.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So were you getting into music around the same time? Were you playing instruments, or something came later?
So around 15, so around the time where I was like, okay, I want to skate and do this, the music thing came in my life also, like really came into fruition, really because of my parents and the church they were going to at the time. They were realizing they were losing a lot of members that were younger. So my dad, who was a musician, was like, well, I'll help out. And of course, it was funny seeing him at home playing like Beatles stuff and like Doors stuff, and then going to church and playing church stuff. But he was like, hey, I get to play. And so he was like, do you want to help? Do you want to learn? I was like, sure. And at the same time, my best friend at the time, who went to the same church, was like, hey, like we should start playing, because like we like Sonic Youth, we like Nirvana, we like Helmet, we like the Beastie Boys, like you should start playing. And that's how it got into it. So essentially it started like helping my dad out and my family out. Then it became like, hey, let's start a band, and my brother will play drums, and we'll figure it out. And we were listening to like Sonic Youth, Pavement, Nirvana, I mean, kind of everything, Ministry, and trying to figure out what we're going to do. And then just back then it was like, you just figured you where the shows and where the all ages places and all that. So that's how I got into that.
Did you have like an older brothers or sisters, or?
Nah, I'm the oldest.
Oh, the oldest. Okay. Yeah. What sometimes I like to ask that question. What was your first like album that you got, like your first like official like CD? Well, maybe it was a tape, right?
It's a tape.
So I know mine, like in third grade, like it's like, like the one that you get that's like something you really wanted. Like when you finally like know music enough, you're like, oh, I want this album, whatever it is.
I think, man. So I was into hip hop a lot, so it had to have been something like that first.
You bought too much music, you can't.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It was probably like, I probably convinced my parents to get me like a Public Enemy album or something.
That's sick.
And that's like what I wanted.
Yeah.
I think it was probably Fear of a Black Planet, if I'm correct. And then as far as like rock and roll stuff, I mean, I grew up with the Beatles and all that stuff, but I remember the first album I like was like, I want this, was probably like either Depeche Mode or well, they're not even rock. I wouldn't call them rock, but yeah, something like that. But I mean, yeah.
I just random question.
No, but that's like stuff I try to remember, because I definitely remember like, again, going back to like movies that influenced you, like the La Bamba soundtrack, my parents giving me that and being exposed to that and being like, whoa, like this is cool. Like
Sleepwalk.
Yeah, like that, and like Los Lobos in general, like that band. and getting introduced to them and going like, because they did most of the soundtrack, they did most of the Richie Valens covers and stuff on that. So that was interesting because that soundtrack got worn out because I was just exposed to it.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
But then like my father was listening to like the Doors and all that stuff also, so I heard a lot of that growing up, and
that's really cool.
R&B, Sade, a lot of Sade growing up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like all mixed, man.
That's cool that you had that there. Yeah, my dad he's from another country, and most of the music he listened to was just like sort of this traditional, like, Tejano music here and there and stuff like that. But they weren't really. Yeah, my dad wasn't really, playing fucking the Doors or something like super sick. That's awesome. That's because that definitely, I'm sure, like, helped it's the influence of like having that is like super cool.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I now that I'm older, my parents to me are like cooler than me. Like,
that's sick.
They even do cooler stuff than me now. So it's like one of those things where like I really appreciate it, and I have a good relationship with it. Not a lot of people. Yeah, have the best relationships with their parents, but yeah, they definitely let me do what I wanted to do. Was there a struggle? Hell yeah, there was struggle. Yeah, there was times where I was necio and all that stuff, and they didn't understand the music or they didn't understand the culture, but we powered through.
Do they speak English, Spanish, or are they?
Yeah, they're bilingual. Yeah, okay. They're bilingual. They're like, they're like they're third generation. So my parents, I always tell people this, like they're the quintessential baby boomers. Like my dad was 18 in 1968, so he was just like Hendrix, the Beatles, Floyd, like all that stuff. So he was just like like this crazy. Whereas my mom, she was from a smaller, well, they're both from small towns, but he had older brothers who were like in Cali, and they were like, check this album out, check this, and he was just like, okay.
So he was getting like fresh from the West Coast, like straight up.
He was getting like all the cool stuff, and I think that ended up influencing me as well. And my mom was the youngest in her family, so she, of course, like once she was like out of high school, she's like, I'm out, and she did her thing. And
that's awesome, dude. Yeah. So you're starting to the church, you're starting to play church stuff, but it's you have an instrument, you're like, oh, this is an opportunity to just play music with your dad. Is he playing too?
Yeah, he was playing at the time. My mom, I think, was singing at the time. Eventually my sisters joined, and when it got to where I was doing like shows, like actual like late shows, I would still show up.
So you're in high school at this point?
Yeah, I was in high school. I think my first real like show where we actually did it ourselves. It was like DIY. Like now that I think about it, it's a DIY show. We rented out a ballroom, Imperial Ballroom, overall for Ingram.
And I know that. Yeah.
A bunch of people were just like, we want to throw a show, but there's no venues for us all ages, or there was, but we don't want to deal with that. So we just ended up renting out the space.
Damn, that's pretty. Like, that's
not thinking about it.
We're gonna make it happen. Like,
yeah, we made it happen. It was fun. We played our first real show. My parents showed up, friends showed up, and after that, we got a taste for it. And then that's when we were like, okay, well, let's go find out.
What was the name of the band at that?
That band was called Helipop, which is named after a Rodney Mullen trick.
Helipop?
Yeah, which is still like, always incorporating skateboarding in some way.
Skateboarding, like, for me, really, music, like, it really influenced a lot of my musical taste.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Because you'd watch the videos, it'd be, like, super cool. Some song that maybe you thought was, like, all right, but somebody skates to it, and you're like, this song is incredible, because you see how they skate to it apart, and it's just like, so skateboarding just gave me so many other like bands and stuff that I maybe at that young age I wouldn't have really thought too much about, but then you see somebody skate to a certain song and you're like, this is I love this song,
Yeah, or it takes you back to their, like, I remember watching like virtual reality, and like even the beginning of virtual reality.
Yeah, so what is it, Ozzy?
It was just like Ozzy, where I wasn't like too in tune with Ozzy, and then I was like, but every time I hear that song, it's like,
I remember it had like the little split screens,
like
right?
4 screens.
Yeah, like 4 screens.
And then I think there was also a section in the middle, I think it's the Friends section or touring section, where it's like For Whom the Bell Tolls, like by Metallica. And it's like growing up in San Antonio, you're like exposed to Metallica and Slayer, like at least I was at a very young age, like you can't get away from it. Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, that makes me view that song different when I hear it. I don't think of it
as being same old,
just another. I think of it plan
It's
B.
like, oh shit, like it gets me hyped. I want to go skate.
Yeah, it gets me excited to skate. I mean, I think that's the great thing about music and skateboarding. It all goes together. So like a lot of those videos, I mean, even I mean, the 2000s videos, which I wasn't, by that time I was already kind of out of it, but like I know people, there's certain songs they'll be like, oh, that was on this video, and I'm like, oh, cool, that's cool. It hypes you up, like it hypes me up with like the older videos, you know.
Yeah.
And even new videos now, like some of those songs, like they're still there, and they'll get me in. Like that's the one thing I do like about skate videos now, is that you can find out right away who the band is, then you can check them out.
Oh yeah, just by, you could turn your Google thing on and it'll hear it and then tell you what the song is. Yeah.
I mean, there was fun in like searching for it, but now it's like, okay, now I know what it is, and it's probably better for the band if you're actually going to buy merch from them and stuff.
Yeah. I usually try to go directly to their Bandcamp. And buy stuff directly from the artist. If that's what I try to do. If I really like love the artist and I'm like, man, I want to support this whoever it is, even if they're really indie, it's like, oh cool, like I want to buy a shirt. Or let me see if they have a shirt, because you want, be a little niche and like get like a cool shirt from some band that nobody really. And I got to let the cat out here. You're playing in the Helipop.
Yeah, Helipop.
And then like, how did that progress? Did you join other bands?
Let's see. So that was like end of high school.
What kind of music were you guys playing though?
It was a mix of like, I guess what they would call alternative back then. It became mostly instrumental, mainly because we started listening to a lot of what would become what they would call post rock. But really it was the Beastie Boys albums where they had interludes of instrumental music. And we thought that was cool because like, well, these guys like rap and they play their own instruments. And we can't rap very well. I mean, we can act like we can, but the stuff they were doing, especially like Check Your Head and like all that stuff, there's so many of the instrumental pieces on there that I thought were cool. So then that influenced us. And then we started listening to a lot of like Mogwai from Scotland, My Bloody Valentine, which isn't instrumental, but yeah, we did that. We started playing in the scene here, which at the time in the late 90s was kind of, you had to know people, You had to know people, and the White Rabbit was just getting going, and they were letting anybody play. So we played our share of White Rabbit. Are you guys still Helipop at that point? Yeah, we're still Helipop. I mean, this is like starting into college years, which is better because then you're older.
People have cars.
Got cars. You don't have to borrow mom and dad's. Even if we were still borrowing mom and dad's, they were cool with it. And one club in particular, which is not around anymore, is called the Reverb Lounge. It's off of Avenue B, across from the manual spot that everybody used to skate back in the day. Yeah. Across from that crazy stair set.
Yeah, with the rail, yeah.
It was called Reverb Lounge. Then it became Rock Bottom.
Yes, I remember Rock Bottom, yeah.
So it was Reverb Lounge. It was opening up. Eddie Hernandez gave us a chance. Basically, we had to make a demo tape. And my father was like, yeah, we'll just record you like with a cassette, like the old school way with the receiver and everything, and you just hook it up. And he recorded us. I went in there, and Eddie Hernandez was there hanging out, gave him the cassette, and within like 2 weeks, he called me up and was like, hey, I got a spot for y'all. And it was cool because they were older, the crowd was different, and he knew what we were going for, so he fit us in with those style of bands. So we're like, okay, cool. Well, now we're not playing the White Rabbit anymore, because that was like a crapshoot. You could be playing with a metal band or a punk band.
They just throw you in it with anyone.
And this guy, like that club, they were specific on like, we want to kind of have the same genre together, but it's also cool to mix it up. And that's when I met a ton of people. That's when I met a ton of people from the scene, who some of them I'm still like friends with or acquaintances with, which is wild, because that was like late 90s, early 2000s. And also that's when I started hanging out at Crazy Cat Music a lot.
Over there on
it was on St. Mary's.
Yeah,
it's like a flower shop now.
Yeah, it was on St. Mary's. It's gone now?
It's gone, yeah. You can get the same flavor of that store at Robot Monster, which is some of the same guys that used to work there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you just gravitate there because it was you could have went to like, I guess like Hermes, right?
Yeah.
But he was like,
I think that was what was going on as far as me being a young guitar player and bass player was like the nerdiness of finding old gear, and that's what it was. And I was in school one day, and somebody said, "Oh, you need to go to Crazy Cat to check that out because they'll probably have that pedal or whatever." And Hermes isn't going to have it at the time because they're doing new stuff, you know. So, yeah, for my birthday, I think my 18th birthday, somebody got me like this old pedal. Yeah, then I just became a regular there. I would hang out there. I'd find a way to get there, but it was cool because you would read about all this like guitar gear and all this old stuff, you know, in Guitar World magazine, and like they actually have it at this shop, and
they carry the cool
old stuff, which
cool
people I think at the time, like, I mean, talk about skateboarding changing so much, the guitar scene and used guitar market is even nuttier now, but back then it was cool to get into that stuff, you know. So I hung out there a lot, and through that met other musicians.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's super cool. I remember you had played a show, and this is like probably like 6-7 years ago or something, and we went to check it out. I don't know who I was with. I think we were skating somewhere, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like Mario's playing," because I met you sort of just through Bustos and all the guys, I think, over time. I don't remember exactly when I met you, but you were always just coming around with all the guys just skating. Either Habby, I'm assuming it was probably Habby.
Probably back then. Yeah, wherever we wanted to hang out.
Yeah, it was probably just more through weed.
Yeah, and, probably, which makes sense because I met him when I was young, and I met him.
You've known him for a long time?
Known him for a while. We always crossed paths, but we really got to know each other better when we started playing shows together and his bands, and I would go see him. So I knew who he was. And then I really started to hang out with him and all of that. And then when we started skating more, like I met him again, quote unquote, at Rosedale. And yeah.
And you're like, oh, you skate.
We're been talking to him every day since.
You can't get rid of me now.
Nope.
Shout out to Weed.
Yeah. He brings the people together, man.
He does, man. He's an awesome dude. Yeah. He's super talented.
Yeah.
He's always like recording bands and like
he's
always like doing so much for the local like scene. He's just got that passion for it. Just like I think a lot of us do. We're either skating or, you know, I think it's pretty unique because I don't know if you know Carlos, my buddy that I skate with, you know.
Yeah.
He was talking about, like, I remember this was a while back, and he's from Mexico, and he was just like, one day he was like, man, like everybody that is around is an artist or they do something. And I was like, damn, you're right. Like all you guys are doing music, you know, they're DIY spots, like either it's music or it's art or like, and I didn't really thought about it. I'm like, yeah, like everybody in the skateboard world seems to have a whole lot of other skateboarders usually tend to have other artistic like
other
endeavors
outlets,
outlets.
I remember even the guys that I ended up skating with again, so to speak. I met some of those guys like in the late 90s skating, and then I re-met them again playing shows, and then I re-met them again skating. Like it's one of those things where I looked at somebody and I was like, did you used to play with this band? And they'd be like, yeah. I was like, dude, I don't recognize. Like, well, of course we don't recognize each other. We're like either lost hair or we become gray. But it's like, damn, we skated together at this spot. And he's like, oh yeah, we did. Like, I remember that spot. Like, and so it's like, it's funny, especially if you stay in town. If you stay in San Antonio, even if you leave and come back, like you're always going to gravitate artistically, musically, skateboards, it's kind of the same scene, so to speak. So you're going to run into the same people again, and they may have, you know, grown up, kids, married, divorced, married again, who knows, you know? Like, so it's that is special, I think, about San Antonio that some people don't, that they take for granted. Because when you go to other cities, it's really not like that. It kind of is, but to me, it really isn't. But that's like a whole other discussion.
Have you ever moved away from San Antonio?
No, I've just toured. To touring, I wouldn't call moving away, but it is like going camping for like 2 weeks in a ratty van or whatever. And
what was the first kind of like tour thing that you did you guys like, oh, we got a fucking Houston show, and like just jump in a car? And
I want to say it was one of my bands. The band was called Reader, and that was kind of the first like, let's do something outside of San Antonio. And this was like early MySpace days, so you just met people. Is
it so the bands that you're going through, are you just like are are you with the same guys and like making let's do a different band, or you
just
meeting different people and driving?
Helipop essentially stopped because our drummer, who is my really good friend, he went to college.
Oh, okay.
And so he was like, he moved to Austin, went to UT, and me and his brother were like, okay, like, what are we gonna do? And we ended up doing another project, and then he was like, I got to get out of, like, I got to graduate from UTSA. So he concentrated more on getting out of school, where I was like already out of school, was already playing shows. And when this band Reader started, my sister's friend Joe was like, just out of his like high school band, like he was kind of done with it, and he's like, I want to do something totally different. And I was like, yeah, I do too. And we did it as a one-off. Then we kept practicing, and then it just like, hey, do you want to like join? And then next thing you know, we're playing tons of shows at Limelight, when Limelight used to have live music before it became Dance Hall Central or whatever.
It's Slackers now.
Slackers.
But I used to go to Limelight. I used to go to shows there.
Dude, there's a bunch of good shows there.
They used to even bring like indie hip hop artists down, and like, dude, I remember seeing like Quail there, and like I don't know, people, Typical Cats, like that's old.
I mean, I saw a bunch of different shows there. I mean,
you were probably going around there when they were actually having more local stuff, right?
Oh yeah, and then when they were getting touring bands, that was fun. I mean, bands that would go on to get big, like that kind of thing. But yeah, with that band Reader, Joe and Joseph were very much like, we want to play out of town, and went to the Valley a couple of times. Houston Valley like loves live music. Like, it's a different vibe down there, but like McAllen and all those spots, they love live music down there. And that's how I got going further. Fort Worth, all that stuff. By the time I got to Grasshopper, the main guy in Grasshopper, like his whole thing is like to tour and record as much as possible while still maintaining a day job, you know, and a house payment and all that fun stuff, you know. So when I joined Grasshopper, it was kind of like, knowing if you're going to join, like, we're going to tour, like,
it's serious.
Save up, you know.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have good jobs back then, you know.
Okay.
So, I mean, we would literally go broke and come back and
just whatever you
sell
needed
gear and sell guitars and make the most of it. But I mean, yeah, the network's crazy now. I couldn't imagine touring right now, to be honest with you. Like,
was it even hard when you did the Japan thing? That's fairly recent. That was a pretty like,
it was 2019, right before the end of the world.
Yeah, I consider that recent, but then again, it's like
we lost like 5 years of our lives.
2 years of rough COVID, and like, man.
Yeah. Now that was a stroke of just getting the right band member, and the drummer at the time was another band who just went to Japan, and he knew an American guy who was there like just on a visa, like just booking shows, and that's how we got it. Now, it wasn't going to be the same genre as us, but we didn't care. We just wanted to connect, and that's how we did that. There's a lot of trusting that this person could book you, and then a lot of going like, okay, we need to like get our plane tickets now. We need to buy the pass for the bullet train now, and save up, and then currency. We need to go get our, you know, all the paperwork done correctly. So it was kind of like a stressor, but like once we got it going, like, yeah, it's just, and again, not to go back on Japan, but it's like, it's just different there when it comes to like doing anything, much less touring. It's like, you don't need a car, you know, you have a train and you get to work like that. And granted, like the work schedules there are crazy. They work a lot, but they play hard. They play really hard.
So they party hard too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, it was interesting seeing people in like their business suits, you know, all drunk and having fun, and then just getting on the train and going home, and probably getting home safe, you know,
going straight back to work, maybe.
Yeah, straight back to work in a couple hours. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, is there anything? So you guys are touring. Did you have any time to like sightsee? Was there anything that you were like, oh, if I have time, this would be cool?
In Japan? Yeah, we had a specific day that we took off. So we went to like Tokyo Tower, went to some of the temples.
Sick. Went
to so in Tokyo, there's like sections of merchandise sections. So like there's like a guitar instrument section. It's like every block is just guitars and drums and everything. So that was overwhelming.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. It was like, which store do we go to? Like, they're all awesome.
Good. Yeah, they're all dope.
And then we went with our friend Oscar, who ended up actually not replacing me, but taking over for me on bass, and he was photographer, videographer. So we went to like that section of just like cameras, and he was just like, oh my God, like there's so much. But yeah, we got to do that. That was fun. As a guitar nerd, it was fun to look at all the gear and everything. And where else did we go? Of course, a lot of food. A lot of just hole in the walls that are like better than anything. The best ramen I've ever had was literally in a hole in a wall.
Yeah,
and it was like $7 or $8 with like $1 extra noodles, and you probably pay like $15 for that here, in the States. But it's just the simplicity of everything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Tokyo Tower was dope. What is that? It's just like this giant tower. It's like red, and you just take an elevator up to a certain section, and you're high in the air, and you take another elevator and you can go even higher. You can see like the whole city. It's cool. And the temples were cool. Like, that was cool. We got to actually go like see a ceremony and stuff. It was interesting. And then just get it into stuff. Like, we went to like I guess what you would call like kind of like a flea market or something like that. It was just awesome, man. There's arcades everywhere. Just every store was different. Manga, and then records, and then just knickknacks, like everything. It for some people it's very overwhelming because it's just like there's so much stuff. Like, but some people, other people love it. Like, they love it. Like,
I'm not too familiar, but like when you see like clips of Tokyo, in the downtown areas, or maybe that's just the way the city looks, buildings, and they have like these really cool like animated stuff on the buildings that look like they're real and like cool.
Oh yeah.
Like really visually fucking pleasing. You're like, what the fuck? Like, it's like cool. Like, I think there was one. It was like an animal that kind of was coming out, or I forget which one it was. But there's like stuff that you see. I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah, you're constantly around. It sounds funny, but you're constantly around advertising, but you're also constantly around like lights and visuals.
Yes,
and it's pleasing to the eye. If you like that stuff, you're like, whoa. And like, you can get lost there really easily. Like, it's fun. Luckily, we had a guide. I think all of us got lost at one point, but we had our Google Maps, so they just like pinned where home base was, and we go find it.
Yeah,
we hung out a lot at like the 7-Elevens and Lawson's, because those girls, they're like, they're little convenience stores, but they have a bunch of cool stuff, and that's kind of where we would get our snacks and stuff.
Is that true to what you saw there as far as the vending machines? Like, everything is you can buy almost anything out of a vending machine. Like,
they're like right there. You get cold coffee, hot coffee, energy drinks, hydration drinks,
whatever.
They're just like there. Yeah, I think some of them have beer too. Like, you can get beer.
Yeah.
But they're everywhere. It's all about convenience there, but like in a good way. Like, and it's clean. Like, I've never been to New York. I've been to Chicago. I've been to LA, and
I've been to New York City.
Yeah, Tokyo was clean. Like, many people that were there, it was clean.
Really?
I've been to LA like 3 times, and I was just like, it's dirty, dude.
There's parts of downtown that look bad, right?
It's
like
grimy, dude.
Yeah, New York City too. It's not how they have like on the shows. They show like that beautiful neighborhood, which they do exist, but it's just really grimy.
Yeah. And Chicago is kind of the same way. Like, there's some cool spots, but then there's some like rough spots, which is like what you'd expect at a downtown area. You don't expect it to all be clean.
No. Yeah. But there's New York. Sometimes you're like, but like, I like it. I like New York. It is grimy, but it's Yeah,
I've never been in New York. I've been to Boston, but never been.
I've been to Boston. Yeah.
Boston was fun.
I liked Boston a lot. I had a lot of fun there. It was a cool spot. I didn't go to the PJ Ladd Ledges though, but I knew where they were. They told me at the skate shop, those fucking. They already know, like, PJ Ladd Ledges. If you want to check them out, and I was like, oh, cool. Like the ones from Horrible Wonderful Life. Were you skating around that time?
Probably not. So,
because getting back on.
Getting back to that, I skated pretty hard from like 95 to like 2002.
What did you just like get more into the music and just
put the I got more into music, and I was it's so weird thinking about that. I think I was like 22, 23, and I was like, you know what, it's time to grow up, so I'm gonna play music and stay out late.
Skateboarding,
skateboard, do the live music like nightlife, which you're like, that's just as like hard on your body as skateboarding is sometimes. But yeah, I got more into that. Got more into recording music. Got more into just connecting with musicians. And from like 2002-ish to 2009, 2010, yeah, I didn't skate. So I missed what some people call like their heyday, and other people say you didn't miss anything.
So it was what? So when you officially stopped, it was like
right about 2003.
But it's like a sparse, like here, like you slow down and then it just kind of.
Yeah, because then it was like I was skating by myself. And then
sometimes when you lose your friends, it really like if people aren't skating and you got nobody to skate with, and there's no parks really.
There wasn't parks.
There wasn't parks.
I think LBJ was just about to be built.
Yeah,
I might be wrong on that.
I remember when the LBJ opened and it was just far, and I grew up by Woodlawn, so it was like my parents weren't gonna take me over there, and I didn't really mess with the bus much. And I mean, I think I was like 8th grade maybe. So even when it was open, I really didn't like. If I was a kid in that neighborhood, it would have been great because it would have been in my neighborhood. But I lived so far away, I didn't go there.
Yeah, I didn't go. I'm trying to think, because the early 2000s, like pretty much 2000, 2002, I was probably skating alone. I had befriended Mark Cortez and Han Bessie.
Oh yes,
when they were still like around before, probably right when they got on Good Times.
Yeah.
But as soon as those guys leveled up, like they leveled up, dude.
Those videos, I remember we'd go to Good Times when it was on Parent Bidle. I would find a way there. It was like a struggle to get your parents to take you, like. But we would go and we'd I remember when that first, it wasn't the first video, but it was like the 2000s era, the Here and Now, and like one of us bought the video and then we all copied it and like watched it religiously. And those videos were huge for like me and some of my friends because it was like seeing these guys, they were super gnarly. They were all killing it. Han was incredible. Mark Cortez, he had like the last part in that first Here and Now video. Yeah. I think he ends it with that nose manual and all he flip out, like on the bench.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
and Pedro, like I think he's like, but those guys, they were like, it was cool seeing those videos because then you could go to the spots.
Yes.
And then, you see it on video, like, okay, yeah, like maybe I can do something there. You go there and you're like, this is...
Yeah, I can't do
this. The ground's rough and, like, there's cracks. Like, damn, like, how did, So that was a little bit special when you'd see the spot in real life. And it was different than, like, pro videos because, I mean, I'm not going to be in California to see, like, what it really looks like. So it was, like, that little bit of what was kind of cool that I thought was cool.
No, it was cool. I mean, it was great because I met Mark and Han probably when they were, like, in middle school. Same thing. Like, I was at Holmes High School at the time, and one of my buddies there who skated lived in the same area as Han. Then you meet Han, then you meet Mark, and then we're like, hey, we skate over here. And they started hanging out with us, but they were young and they were progressing really fast. And Mark especially, I hung out with a bit more. And I remember we used to go out to, was it the Selma Jams that Good Times used to have or whatever? Shirts, there we go.
Shirts.
And
Fridays?
I would go out there with him sometimes. I'll never forget the one in 98 because it was like the day before the flood happened.
Oh, dude, I remember the flood.
Yeah, me and Mark and I went out there and, I mean, that's when I knew. I was like, this dude's... Yeah, he's something else. He's something else. And then when I would see Han like out on the street skating street spots, that's when like him and those nollie flips, I was like, oh, this kid's, that's it. Yeah. So then it was kind of like, of course, they are doing different skating than me at that point because I'm kind of like leveled out.
Yeah, they were more technical.
Yeah, I was
and
more.
And
like,
even Han was like jumping down shit.
Yeah, he was like, jumping stairs, down a lot of shit.
Nollie heel flip. Nollie backside 180 heel flip Kobe glass.
Magic ledges like over here or wherever they are.
They're gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Magic ledges.
Right. But I remember being at that spot to be like, oh shit. Like, and of course also like in that era you can't forget how like Forrest Kirby was just like killing it. Then he was like, I'm out. New York later.
Yeah.
Which was like skating. I didn't skate with him per se. I was at a spot where he was skating a couple times and I was just like, I'm just going to sit down and watch this dude destroy everything.
I ran into him at the old Culebra bump. Remember like the...
Oh, yeah.
We used to call it Hicks because it was the place is Hicks.
Oh, yeah,
It was called Hicks, that building.
Yeah.
And they had the bump there with thing. I ran into him one time with a friend and we went up, talked to him. He was super cool. And then we were just talking real quick, and then we were like going somewhere, so we just like took off. But it was like, oh shit, like Forrest Kirby, and he's already like big pro at the time, so he was just in town, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
When we ran into him, like,
family.
Yeah.
I got to know him better later. At the shop I worked at, I used to work at a men's clothing shop, and he would come through there, and just one day he showed up, and my friend who knew I used to skate, he's like, hey, Forrest here. And I was like, hey, what's up? And, I was at work, so I was being like real chill and professional. And he was like, oh, yeah, what's up? And, this person? Oh, I know that person. And then, so like, basically every time he showed up at the shop, he'd be like, hey, where's Mario? And catch up. And super nice. I think this was like, he was in Miami. He had been in Miami for a while. And every time he'd come in, he was super nice, chill. Wouldn't even talk skating at the time, just like hang out, just catch up. And I mean, he would always just end up going to San Pedro at some point. People would see him there skating here and there. I mean, that was like one of his spots. He'd just go skate. Yeah. I mean, he would you could see him skate there at any point. Yeah. So, I mean, it was cool catching up with him. But yeah, going back to like,
Cortez and all those guys.
Mark and all those guys. Like once they got really going with good times, I think Mark was on Shorties for a minute there, if I'm trying to remember. But yeah, it was just a natural progression to start playing music more, and then put the board down, and then.
What is that? That was a different band at that time. You were in.
It was different. It was.
Are you just kind of playing on your own still? And you're.
No, I think this was a different band. Like, which band?
I had a lot of bands.
Yeah. It was one of the other bands.
So you just like playing music and
and then also like I was getting through my sisters, I was meeting a lot of younger musicians, and like they introduced me to like I guess the metalcore scene, like with All Sincerity locally, and like all those bands, like all the grindcore bands, and so I met a lot of those kids. Me and Greg from With All Sincerity became pretty good friends. I met him when he was a kid, so that's how all that happened. And then I just put the board down for 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
What sort of sparked like getting back into skating? Was it something particular?
It was like I was working at Crazy. By this time, I started working at Crazy Cat.
Oh, you've got a job there.
Yeah, I got a job there at the worst possible time, like 2008. Like recession just hit. Like my hours got cut, but I was like, this is like my dream job. I always tell people that was the best job I ever had, but it was also the most broke I ever was. But I loved it. I was around gear. I was around some of the people I grew up with that were like managing me now, just musicians that I respected. But I was working there, and some of the kids from the scene that were there, I knew skated, but I was just kind of like, oh, cool. But like, it never leaves your head. You're always still thinking about tricks and spots for some reason. It never goes away, at least for me.
I think you're right.
And it was like a sequence of events. I was really broke. I had to move back home. And I moved back home. My friend Daniel was basically like, hey, I just bought a house, but it won't be living ready for 6 months. So like I was like, cool. My parents said I could stay here, and I'm like 32. So you're like 32, going like, oh man, like I really screwed up my life and
move back home.
I'm moving back home, and I barely even have a car and all this stuff. And he's like, in 6 months the house will be living ready, but can you help me with repairs? And it's like, yeah, of course, dude. Like you're one of my best friends. In that time, for some reason, I found my last skateboard I had, which is an old like 775 like Habitat with like Fury trucks, like from that era. It was like stuck in the early 2000s, like late 90s. And I was like, that might be fun to try this. Like,
I do remember, I think we were hanging out, you, me, and Josh. I think we were like at somewhere, and you were kind of telling a little story. I don't know if it was related to getting back into skating, but you were like, I mean, if you don't want to tell this story,
no.
I don't think it's anything bad, but like, you were you were the Southtown Lofts across next to Latuna.
Yeah.
They like looked at your trunk and you had a board, and then I think you were like, man, like I think you were saying that kind of like got you a little bit.
Yeah,
like, like my board, let me fucking skate or something.
Yeah,
it was like a rough patch.
That was a series. Yeah, that's what sparked this series of unfortunate but good events. Yeah, I drank too much that night. I was. Thinking I was being safe, I fell asleep in the driver's seat, which you can't do. And the cops rolled up on me and they were like, is there anything you need to tell us? And I was like, well, I'm not driving, but I understand the predicament I'm in. And then, well, can we search your car? I said, yeah, you can search my car. The trunk's really messy. You're going to find a skateboard in there and a bowling ball. And that's what they found. And I could hear them talking, and they were like, oh shit, there's a skateboard. Oh, this is a nice bowl. You have bowling shoes? Do you bowl? I was like, yeah, I kind of bowl. Yeah, and so, yeah, that's what kind of got me like, okay, I need to kind of straighten up, so to speak. And it all worked out because the apartment I was living in, the lease was about to come up. And so I'm already going through, like, I need to move somewhere. I'm looking for an apartment. I'm like, what can I afford?
Pause for a second.
Yeah.
This cat just won't stop. We're back.
But yeah, it was basically like, I was looking at an efficiency off of Broadway, which is probably now like $1,400 a month.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah. But I got in a wreck. Totaled my car. Not my fault. And that's when I was like, I got to move back home. And so that's what kind of sparked everything. And what happened was...
So real quick, the cops are just like, get out of here, right? They're
yeah. They kind of gave me a pass. I sobered up and got home eventually.
So was it like the middle of the night still when they
It was late. It was like 3 a.m.
Oh, okay.
And this was back when... See, there was La Tuna, and then it was... It's like a venue / bar. I forgot what it was called. Somebody will probably remember it.
The one that burned down?
It burned down.
Pedicab?
Yeah. Yes.
Was it that then? Way back when? Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not too long ago, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. It's like 2010.
Okay. That's right. Yeah.
But I, got in a hit and run with my friend Joseph. That was scary. But, moved back home. And I was like, I'm going to try to start this thing again. And it sucked. I was like all out of shape and legs were shaking, the usual stuff. But what really kept me going was that I was like, I'm going to look up some of the old videos I used to watch. And this was early. No, I don't want to say early YouTube, but YouTube was just getting to where it was.
Yeah, it was. I would say it still was. It's only like 2005 when it started. And it was when it was still like broadcast yourself. Like, remember that was like their slogan, broadcast yourself.
I think I looked up Stereo's Tin Can Folklore because I had it on VHS.
That video is so good.
So I looked that up and I was like, oh, cool. And of course, then you get suggestions. And then you start seeing some of these guys are still skating. And I was like, Chris Pastors is still out there. And
wow,
what the hell? And Matt Rodriguez is still out there. And so then I was like, And I was at work at Crazy Cat one day. And Jared Nichols came in. And he said, hey, you've been kind of dabbling in skateboarding again. Because he'd gone to shows and we hung out. And I said, yeah. And he's like, oh, that's rad. He's like, I have an extra board if you want it. I go, yeah, man, I have this old Habitat board. And he's like, yeah, it's a
time capsule.
Yeah. It's like, and he was like, you probably have to get new trucks because, the sizes have kind of changed now. And I was like, oh, what size is that? He's like, it's like an 825. I was like, oh my God, it's like humongous.
Good surfboard.
Yeah. So he ended up, I forgot, we did a trade or something. He gave it to me and I went about trucks and I want to say, God, did I go see Rob? I feel like I went to go see Rob for some reason. This is how I met Rob. When he was still, he had Zoomies? I forget. But then I ended up piecing a board together.
He was working at a Fast Forward around that time, right? That new location?
The new location.
The newer, not new anymore. But
I want to say, I could be wrong on the timing, but I do remember going and getting glasses at Ingram Park Mall, and I went to Zoomies because I was just out of the loop. I didn't know what was going on, and I went in there, and I was just checking out brands, and I was like, okay, well, like, I don't know who that is.
You're like, what happened to Fast Forward?
I was like, where's Fast Forward? I go, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. So I was like checking out stuff, and I realized stuff had gotten wider. The wheels looked better to me. I was like, oh, these look a little bit better. They're not, and I just started doing it on my own. And then kind of like serendipitously, my manager at the time, Bob Dog, was starting a Motorhead cover band. And he was getting his buddies to do it. One of the people he got was Andy Barris. Andy Barris kids are Rainey and Rye.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Doesn't mean anything to me. But Bob essentially tells me, like, hey, like, Andy's kids skate, and one of them works at Good Times. You should go check them out. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, sure. I meet Andy. He's super cool, like 0% body fat, just like, yeah, like rides bikes, skateboards, does marathons. Super cool dude. He's like, yeah, I should go check out. I was like, oh, cool. Good Times is still around. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know. So I went there, and I think Rainey was there working, and, we talked shop, and I got some more stuff from him, I think. And then I just started skating, but I still wasn't committed to it per se. Like, I was still like, I don't know if I can do this. So I started skating real slow. But what I would do is I would like go to shows and then go home and skate late at night.
Oh, wow.
Like 2 a.m. kind of thing.
That's dedicated.
Yeah. I didn't know where to go, and I had nowhere, like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I was like, so I just started going to old spots.
And then you're so pumped from the show. You're like, let me go push around.
Yeah. So I was just like watching videos. So I was like catching up on everything. So I was like, oh, like this Foundation team, like I remember Foundation, but they were like totally different in the 2000s. So I caught up on all the Foundation stuff.
Yeah.
And then, realized Chris Pastors was still skating for Stereo, or like basically owned Stereo at the time.
And it was like back again. I think, around that time.
And then the Barracks, before it got, I don't really watch Barracks stuff anymore, but that's when I got into the Barracks, started looking at that stuff. And it was just this natural progression. Thankfully, some people hate social media, but that at that time that actually got me through. And then seeing people still skate. And it was just this thing, like once I met, they were like, Jared Nichols was one person who definitely was like, hey, you should come out with us. And I would go out and check stuff out, and those dudes were just ripping like everything apart, like Underground Ditch and all that stuff.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't go there enough.
I just want to carve.
Yeah, rest in peace, Underground Ditch.
Yeah, but one of the biggest turning points at that time when meeting people who skated was my sister had a birthday party, and at the time I was kind of like getting out of this rough patch, but she knew I was skating again. She's like, hey, a friend of mine skates, and he's from New Mexico. And I said, cool. So I meet him. His name's Eddie Fernandez, and he's super cool, super positive. And I was like, yeah, well, let's go. Let's skate like next week. And he shows up to my house, and he's like, where are we going? I said, I don't know. Like, I know there's parks now. So we ended up going to like Blue Park, Martinez. And at the time they were building Nanny, so we were looking for it, and we were like, oh, they're building it, like can't skate it. And he is one of the first pure person I really started skating with a lot, and like he like helps out like Cherry's Wheels now, and is real good friends with Rob and Kira. So he was one of the main people who was like my go-to to skate, because I hadn't really met anybody yet my age. He was younger, and he was from New Mexico, so he was just like eating up like the scene.
Yeah. Like
and
that.
Then Mark Cortez reached out to me, and he's like, hey, are you skating again? And I was like, yeah. He's like, hey, let's skate. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And we started skating again a little bit. And then by this time, Rosedale got built, so we started going to Rosedale. Skated with Han a couple of times when he was just getting back into it, and he was still killing it, even back then. And then we used to go to Bernie, because we were just like trying to find, we were just at parks, and Cortez came out with us a couple of times, and Eddie was just like, I remember, I never forget one time we were driving back from Bernie, and Eddie Fernandez was just like geeking out on Cortez and like all those guys. He's like, dude, those videos in New Mexico, like those Good Times videos, like we watched those, like we watched them religiously. And so that was like, I was like, oh man, like
all the way out there. Yeah,
that's cool. Like he's like, you don't understand, like I just skated with somebody I used to like idolize. I was like, it's just Mark. He's cool, like he's great. Yeah. He's real humble. But
I remember them when they were snot-nosed teenagers.
Yeah. But it was funny, like Eddie, he knew like the Lutherans, so like Daniel Lutheran and all of them. So he grew up with those guys skating. So weird small world stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff sort of.
Yeah, and then those guys blew up, or Daniel Lutheran blew up on Toy Machine for a minute there, and so.
That's awesome, dude.
Crazy
yeah.
stuff, man.
Yeah, you were around some like really cool people. And it's funny, I didn't really know Mark around the Good Times days and times, the Good Times the Good Times days. And I met him like probably a couple years ago at San Pedro randomly. And he was just super humble, super nice, like super. Not that I had any other different impression of him, but he was super cool.
Yeah.
And I think like we just started talking. I think I was like, I did that. Hey, Mark Cortez. He was like, yeah, and I was like, dude, like I kind of did the whole thing. You're fucking awesome, man. Those videos were sick, and he was super cool. And then I think he was like, we were skating Pedro, and it was the little manual pad ledge. You know how the box is, but the little one.
Yeah, yeah.
He was doing like switch kickflip backside tail slides.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's like boom. And I was like, dude, that's sick. Switch, like, damn. And then I was like, man, I can kind of switch back tail. And he's like, oh, you could do switch kickflip backside tail slides. And I was like, no, I don't know, you know. And then I was like, okay, so I tried a couple of switch back tails. I got into a few, but switch kickflip to back tail, yeah, not yet. Someday when I grow up.
He was one of the first people locally that I was like, oh, like he's doing switch stuff.
Yeah,
because you didn't really see that, at least with guys I was skating with.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, I mean, locally, I don't remember people doing that. And if they were, I probably wasn't around them. But I remember being at the Frostbank ledges over here off Fredericksburg, and he was doing, like, he was starting to progress in that way. I remember him doing like a backside kickflip, like back tail, and I was just like, oh shit, like, and he was one of the first people I was seeing doing like big pop, like crooked grinds, like really like popping into them.
Yeah.
Like in our group. And I was like, okay, dude, like you're there.
Yeah. Super sick. Dude, I never got to skate the Frostbank ledge because by the time like I started skating, it already had those cuts in it because it used to be like perfect from what I would see in old videos and stuff. Even like Forrest film shit there, and like like a lot of people probably did even more than Forrest, but when I remember seeing, and then by the time like I remember like the people I was around skating, they were like talk about it, and then but it's got the things that you couldn't really skate it anymore, so I missed that because it was such a cool looking ledge. I still drive by and look over at it, even though I've never really skated it, but it's just one of those. Yeah, it was a good ledge.
It was the Sunday spot, dude. Like you would go there on Sundays, and you could be there like all day.
Yeah,
and then if you got hungry, you just go to the mall, go to Crossroads or Wonderland, whatever it's called now.
It's Wonderland again.
Yeah, go over there, go to the food court, come back.
Yeah.
You know, you could be there like all day.
Yeah.
And Sundays were the best because they were closed.
Yeah.
And then like half days on Saturdays they were closed, so you could go on Saturday in the evening and not get kicked out. Yeah. But I mean, those ledges were like waxed to the bone, dude. Like we used to go there like every Sunday for a minute.
That's sick.
But you would get there and there would be some heavy hitters out there. Like there'd be some people skating, dude.
Right. Damn, that's sick.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna get a no slide. You know? Some things never change.
You gotta go to your aces, right? You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I love a backside no slide. That's one of my favorite tricks. It's just an early trick you learn, and it never fails you. You're like, oh yeah, good no slide, can't go wrong.
I've actually gotten back into them, no pun intended, because I was learning slappy crooks, and that's where I was like, I bet I should probably learn regular no slides again. You know, because like whatever. But
it's right there, right?
Yeah, but that spot was fun, man. Like a lot of time spent there. Did you ever get to go to the warehouse?
No, that was way before my time. I don't know when that was over, but like I started skating like 99.
Oh yeah,
I'm in middle school at that point, so
yeah, I got to go there a couple of times.
It was like a year before like Tony Hawk Pro Skater came out, so okay. I was like, it was still, even when I was dabbling, it was still not cool yet.
Yes.
You know, like Tony Hawk made it like cool, you know, or the video game anyway. It really blew it up, and then everywhere you went, people were like, random people on the street like, so is Tony Hawk the best skateboarder in the world? And you're like, I don't know. Like,
I remember
Ice Skate Street.
Yeah, I remember being stoked on that because I was like, oh, Chad Muska's in it, and like, it
was a cool game.
Raleigh's in it,
dude. It was a great game. I loved it. But
those guys like Muska and Raleigh, I was like, yeah, those are my. Like I had I should have kept all those Raleigh pairs of Vans and probably skated the hell out of all those.
Yeah, I just got tossed out.
But yeah, the warehouse was cool, man. Like.
Yeah, the warehouse. Yeah, it was like somebody was running it, and then they just had like ramps and shit. Like, was there like a mini or something?
There's ramps and boxes and rails. And
Danny would frequent it a lot.
That's when I first saw Danny skate in person, and that was gnarly. I remember going to a demo there, a foundation demo actually. And
they actually had like demos and stuff.
Yeah, and Heath Kirchart was still on the team of foundation. This is right before he got onto Birdhouse, I think. Some skate nerd can probably, correct me.
Let
on
us know in the
that.
comments.
But like this is like classic like Kurt Sharp long sleeve shirt, like
Flannels,
middle of
yeah.
summer, and him and Danny were just the only ones just going back and forth, just like destroying everything.
Wow.
And that was nuts. And then I went to like another demo there. It was like Sonic. It was like Simon Woodstock, that guy that used to dress like a clown. And Wee Man, before he was known as Wee Man,
Okay.
he was just Jason Acuna.
Yeah.
And he was there.
Oh, wow.
And he was killing it. And it was
Sick.
one of that. A couple of years later, they're on doing the Jackass thing. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I skated. I was in the same vicinity as Danny, skating a couple of times, and man, I knew. I was like, "There's no way this guy's gonna stay here. Like, there's no way."
Oh, went out.
Oh yeah, it went out.
That's fine. We'll leave it alone.
But
good.
yeah, that was a fun place. I mean, it was one of those destination spots. You took a bus, you got out there, you figured out how you were gonna get home.
Then you grow up and you get a car and you're like, that's not far at all.
Yeah, we used to always just by Splashtown. You go by Splashtown,
Everything seems so far when you're young, and you take the bus.
But,
but
that place was a good place. I think that's where I met. I mean, I met a bunch of people there that I re-met later. But we were younger.
Right.
Like I said, we were younger.
That was before you kind of took the hiatus, right?
Yeah. So I was still getting out there. It's like late 90s. Because I mean, I was still hanging out there with my high school skate.
You had to know
guy.
somebody to go to the warehouse, right? You couldn't just.
Yeah, I don't know how I found out. You know what?
just roll up.
I found out about it from some other guys that used to skate downtown a lot, and they told me about it, and they were like, "Hey, like these two dudes, Ivan and Axel, just told us about this like skate warehouse."
Dude, Ivan and Axel.
And I was like, "Who are they?" And then I found out who they were.
I think they went to Edison, right?
I think so.
Days.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking Ivan, man. Do you remember like that set behind Jeff?
Yes.
That 11.
Yes.
I remember like there was a video. I think like Brian made it. Brian de la Garza.
Yeah.
And Ivan had like I think they were like he was friends with Axel and Ivan a lot. I'm pretty sure. Obviously they definitely were friends, but he had like Ivan had a fucking badass part in his video. I forgot which one it is. It was super cool, like super artsy. Like he did 8mm, like B-roll stuff. It was super sick. But anyway, Ivan had the last part. Maybe Axel was in it. I don't remember. But Ivan, like his last trick is like 180 front 180 the 11 at Jeff.
That
180's
crazy
it
in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. I was like, and I remember like seeing that video way later because that's before my time too. And then just being like, damn, that's that fucking huge 11. Like, and then you kind of have to like, there's a crack before that first step, and you're kind of like doing 12 stairs. And yeah, and I remember just thinking that was so sick. But that dude had pop.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Ivan, man, yeah.
Those guys are good. But yeah, I
Axel
remember
too, man, yeah.
my friends telling me about that because they used to skate downtown a lot. And they were like, yeah, you just got to like know somebody. Or I mean, right. Eventually it got leaked out and people started showing up.
Yeah.
And, it was fun. It was fun.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
But those are interesting times because it wasn't skateboarding still wasn't big.
Yeah, exactly.
It really wasn't. I think how you're saying like really got a resurgence with the video game and households started recognizing other names besides Tony Hawk. Like that's like when Muska went like crazy. Like he was like hanging out with like Paris Hilton and all that stuff. Like that's mind blowing to me. Like.
I remember seeing that. It's like he's kind of like after shorties and and he got caught like doing graffiti on that building TMZ. Like remember they arrested him.
Yeah.
Like it's like oh shit, and he was doing those sky tops like the Supra sky top stuff. And I remember thinking they were like I was like that's too like trendy. And then like nowadays I'm like that's kind of sick. I appreciate those shoes more now.
Yeah, I think a lot of the 2000 stuff is like again I wasn't around for it, but looking at it now, it's like a lot of that stuff is I appreciate it more. Like I caught up on a lot of those videos and that scene and it was interesting. I mean, again when I got back into it, I was really watching like creature stuff and like anti-hero stuff.
Was it cool for you to like when you're getting back into it, it's like 2010, yeah. So then you're going back and maybe watching like a newer Rodney Mullen part, and you're like, holy fuck, like this dude. This is like even because you were watching him back in the the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
Virtual reality, Plan B video stuff, and that was incredible too. Like you're like, holy shit.
I mean,
He's probably like an Enjoy around.
Yeah, or he's doing Almost or Enjoy. I forget.
Probably already almost at that point.
Yeah, but yeah, just seeing those guys still out there, and then seeing brands that I recognize was cool. But then also realizing like Andrew Reynolds for me was like real big, like when I was younger, and then seeing like, oh, this guy has his own company, and they're kind of rowdy, and they have an interesting team, like, and they're always trashed. But wait a minute, he's like sober now, and I remember being at Good Times, and they were like, you should check this video. It's called Stay Gold, and I was like, what's America? And they were like, it's like part of the Etnies S thing, and I was like, who are all these people? I was like, oh well, there's Kirchart, I know that guy. There's Reynolds. Let me check out this video. That video, for me being like getting back into it, that was like the video I was like, oh damn, like there's songs on that I put in my wedding. Straight up, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's especially like that Andrew Reynolds part at the end of like that Stay Gold. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's that's an epic video. One of those like the big videos. Now you don't have the big videos.
That's not around anymore, man.
You have like parts on Thresher.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's ever gonna come back.
Right?
I don't think so. I think it's funny. We were skating somewhere, and I was asking about the sci-fi video because Jerry Sue's on that. I love Jerry Sue. I didn't know who he was till around that time, and they're like, yeah, like the big video's back, and I was like, that video's 30 minutes, but also like y'all,
it's a big video now.
Nowadays, and I go, yeah, but like also y'all are gonna forget it about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and another thing's gonna come out.
You do, yeah. You forget stuff so quickly.
I watched that sci-fi video twice, and I was like, this is fun, dude. Like I don't know if I can buy any of their stuff for like their boards per se, because I'm such a like picky person about sizes and shapes now, but it's like I like what Jerry's doing. He's like a little bit younger than me, so I'm just like, that's awesome, dude, because I know the struggle, especially after 40. You like know the struggle of skating, but I mean his part alone is just worth it just to watch it, like, to me. But yeah, the big video thing, like I don't know, like
if I'm gonna watch the sci-fi video, I think I kind of just want to see Jerry, not that the take away anything from the younger guys, but I'm like, oh cool, like Jerry's got a part in it, like he's always been,
and like his part was great. I think I wanted to see Joe's part, or Gifted Haters part, just to see like what he could actually do instead of just like talk so much shit. But that kid's good, so I'm like, okay, he's good.
He's pretty good. He's actually
good, and he's funny, and I think he's very much aware that like his persona is a persona, and he's that's his like YouTube persona.
Yeah,
but it was a fun video. I mean, I haven't seen a longer video in a while, but then again, I probably forgot about it already because I watch so much quick stuff now.
Yeah.
And I haven't been watching much. I hate to say it, I haven't been watching much Thrasher stuff lately. I've been watching like Free Skate and like all the European stuff. Like that shit's dope, man.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the terrain or what, but to me it's just more interesting at the moment,
Yeah, they're like, because I know what you mean. You see it, it's like, it's not the big stuff. It's like they're doing like street skating and like curbs and like little ledges, and like they find like little unique little like things to skate, because I guess what you have to do in Europe, it's all old architecture, and you have to like be creative. Otherwise, it's like, it's not like they're gonna find perfect big rails. Like,
yeah, it's not like LA where there's a spot everywhere.
Yeah. That's sick. So what do you so you just kind of taking a break from the music right now?
Yeah. I stopped playing with Grasshopper Lies Heavy in 2021. It's just busy life. And then I was helping out my cousin with some church gigs, which were interesting because they're like way more professional and like all that stuff. And then I had I lost some of my hearing in my right ear, like last year, January, forget. So that kind of like took me out of like actually playing more, which was kind of humbling, because then it was like I appreciate music a bit more now. And then recently, the guys from Grasshopper were like, hey, like, can you fill in for a gig? And I was like, I think, like, let's try it out. Like, let's see how loud we get. And
are you, like, just putting on?
Yeah, I put, like, a super duper, like, heavy-duty ear plug in my right ear.
It's got to be a thing, right? Because I have my stepdad, he has hearing aids, and he's in his 70s. but he used to work like Kelly Air Force Base, like heavy, loud machinery, and he would tell me, like, even this is years ago already, hey, like, put the ear protection on, like, even if you're using like the weed eater, like loud machinery, it's gonna catch up with you, and you're gonna like lose your hearing at some point. So wear it. And I do, like I throw it on, but maybe if I were to go to a show, I probably wouldn't. I don't know, but it's probably not a bad idea, 'cause
the world's loud. That's one thing I've learned with my hearing loss, and I do have like one hearing aid in my right ear, and you probably never see me with it because we're always out skating, and I don't want to skate with it because
it's gonna fall out.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, like to me. Also, it's like expensive as hell, so it's like the last thing I need to do is break my hearing aid, but they asked me to play. The practices have been going well. We're playing a bunch of old stuff, so I'm stoked on that because I'm like, I know that stuff. And we're playing some new stuff. And I took a break, but it's been fun. I never really leave per se with music, but I probably won't play again live in that aspect after this show. I'll just probably chill at home and play and still go to shows like concerts and stuff. But. Yeah.
Do you like record anything? Do you just play your own stuff at home, or
people keep telling me I should, or I at least should, collaborate with somebody. I might. It's just about time, man. And like right now, it's like the free time I'm gonna have, I'm probably gonna spend with my family, my wife, my in-laws, and I'm gonna skate.
Yeah.
So it's like the last thing I want to spend time on is like writing a guitar part and recording it, because
it takes a long time.
If there's one thing I love about music is listening to albums. I hate recording albums. Like, I hate it, dude. But I mean, I might. Somebody was asking me about the other day, like, you should just hit record and play. And I'm like, well, I'll go get software's free basically, and maybe, but I don't even I had to be in that zone of being creative,
Yeah, exactly. You have to feel it. Like, sometimes people tell me the same thing about stuff like, you should do this, you should do that, and sometimes it's kind of hard because you have to really want to feel motivated to do it. Sometimes, whatever it is, it's like, because if I'm not feeling creative, I can't just draw. I have to feel it and be in the zone. I want to do something, or I do graffiti stuff.
Yeah,
so it'd be
artwork.
Let me do something, but I have to feel it. I hear that, because you have to be sometimes in a certain zone, and maybe you're just not feeling it sometimes, or you got other stresses in life and you're just not the most motivated. Something that happens.
Yeah, with music, it's like a couple of years ago, I got more motivated to do stuff, but it's because I was I wanted to learn songs. So then you start learning songs and you're like, oh, well, this is getting me to be creative. Maybe I can write something. But then you end up writing something like the band you're learning. So it's like, what? It's funny. So, but this has been fun. It's been fun regrouping with my old bandmates and learning songs and relearning songs and all the fun stuff you do in a band. And it'll be fun. It's next week, so it'll be fun.
It's a gig?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the one, yeah, right.
Yeah. So
that's awesome, man.
But I mean, I still I like helping people out if they need help, and I just needed to know how my body would, or my ears and would take it, and it's loud, dude. It is, but I have everything I need for it, so I'm not too worried about it.
Hell yeah, no, that's sick, man. Yeah. Thanks for I'm not trying to shut it down just now, but it's awesome for coming on the podcast. This is something I wanted to do for a long time. I'll probably just edit this part out, but and it was kind of hard to get not hard, because I really just wanted to talk to the people that I know around, and especially the old G's, man, the skaters, and kind of know about what it was like growing up skating in San Antonio in the 90s and the 80s, because those stories you don't really hear about, or because unless the older guys are around, it's just interesting to hear. Because I grew up in it, but I didn't know what it was like coming up in the 80s here, and Zulus and these old shops and stuff. Yeah. It's where did you guys get boards? Maybe I'm weird and I want to know those things because I think it's interesting. I'm oh, that's cool. Where, and
I think right now it's a good time to have a history on anything that you're into, especially in your city, especially if you're from the city and you're still living in it and you want to respect everything that's happened in the city. It's good to know that stuff. And from my perspective, it's like everybody does have their own history.
Yeah.
And like skating with guys like Lou and Bustos, it's like we ran into each other, but you get to see different aspects of what they remember about you, which is cool because like you're like, oh, I forgot about that. And like even spots like you forget where you skate some spots sometimes, and you're like, oh yeah, we did skate by Nimitz at this, and we did this, and you know, like, oh yeah. I think the one thing I remember is just when I was really into it, just like how polarizing it was, because to me, I always tell people like, you know, my early high school days and skateboarding days are just think of the Breakfast Club, think of that movie. Everybody was segregated, right? The nerds were over here, the goths were over here, the gangsters were over here, the jocks. That's how it was. Skateboarding at that time wasn't popular. So I specifically, I'll never forget this, driving or skating down my parents' street, some old friends of mine from middle school being like, what are you doing? Like, this isn't cool anymore. And
it was something that was supposed to fade away.
You know, and they were like driving in their first cars and stuff. And I was just like, nah.
They're already into cars and girls, and you're still pushing.
I'm all like, dude, like, I'm just here trying to land like this like heel flip and like get this like grind. And like, I don't care what y'all are doing. Like, and that kind of like, that's when where they say is the rubber hits the road, where you see like who your friends are and then all that. But it's like, it was different. Like, I tell kids, like, I'm glad. I wish I would have grown up when it was more socially accepted, but at the same time, I'm glad I was given a hard time and called names and like chased out of spots and almost getting my ass kicked. Like nowadays, it's like people with skateboard. It's like it's kind of lost its flair, but at the same time, it's like it's also like still interesting to see people out there. I think older people get stoked on it, whereas younger people are kind of like, oh, that's cool. Where it's like you see people in their mid 30s to mid 40s that are like, hell yeah, get out there, you know. They're like, they're into it, you know.
What do you think about sort of the skateboarding Olympics and sort of
I'm stoked on the women's skateboarding stuff because they don't take it serious. They have fun.
You can tell they're just kind of having fun. They're
having fun.
Like, yeah, like you see the men's and it's like it's all about like do you want to win, you know.
They're all broed out and they have money behind them, whereas the women probably honestly don't have as much money behind them, like every other sport, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
you know?
But like seeing like Alexis Sablone like kill
so
it,
good, and
just like, but they were all having fun, and that's what I said. They're having fun. The dudes are all like serious and blah blah blah, and I appreciate it. I don't think it didn't reignite the spark for skateboarding that the industry thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it really put a highlight on the women and how much fun that they're, because I mean, dude, I can watch Nyjah all day, but like in the end, it's just Nyjah, you know? And even his new company's kind of cool, but like I don't want to watch his part. I know he's going to be good. I want to watch the other guys. You know, but like, yeah, it's funny you asked me that because my sisters were asking me about it too, because they were like, what do you feel about it? I'm like, you know, the guys and girls who are on it, I respect them, but there's some skaters who I'd really love to see at the Olympics, like Jamie Foy, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to stop smoking weed to go to the Olympics. Like,
oh, you have to do, you have to
clean up and all that stuff, which I get, but
but when you're a Jamie Foy, do you need to?
You don't need it.
I guess if you want the money, and obviously, you win the Olympics, you're going to get a lot of money, the endorsements.
I mean, there's like with even in the contest world, it's different, right?
Yeah, there's
the contest
big
world's
money.
Way
Huge.
Different. Yeah, like the Dime Challenge that just happened. Like, it was fun to watch, but it was a spectacle. And it's like, who's going to do good? Well, of course, Jamie Foy's going to do good. And of course, like all the guys that ride vert are going to kill that thing because for them, that's nothing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know the vert guys' names. But now after this last one where they had that crazy volcano thing, it's like they're like, oh, that's like that guy and that guy. It's like, yeah. So they're probably going to get up there now too. Yeah. But then again, it's like skateboarding. There is different things. There's street, there's park, and then there's vert, which I've never messed with vert. I've tried it. It's hard. Yeah. That's a whole different level of skateboarding. Yeah. You know? But going back to the Olympics, like, I'm glad, I'm happy. Like, it's good for them. It's not really my thing. But again, I'm always going to watch the women's stuff before the men's.
You know, that's such a good point to really make about how the women look like they're actually having fun.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched either one of them. I don't really watch it, so it's like now I'm kind of like, oh, I want to see the women's stuff because you just like kind of brought that to my attention. That's a really cool observation.
Yeah, they all all hype each other. It's like being at a sesh. They all hype each other. Yeah, they're all hype. They don't give a shit who wins. Yeah, like cool, good for them. Like especially like the way the countries are getting better, like Brazil, like Japan. I mean, those kids. When those kids cross over to the westernized skateboarding, that's when you get to see them really shine. Like there's a couple of those girls who like switched over and they're like are they on Creature or one of those companies, and they just kill it, dude. Yeah. Like, so you get them out of their element. They're just as good, but they're still having fun, dude.
Yes.
Like, yeah. They're not like all like I'm in it to get more sponsors or whatever. No, like I think that is the difference in the competitive world.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that is really cool. Did you tell your sister that like lots of women's is cool?
Yeah, I mean, they were even texting me during it like, this is like, you can tell the difference. I was like, yeah, you can like tell it. Because, both my sisters, we're all around the same ages. I'm about 5 years older than one and 8 years older than the other, but we all hung out in the same scene. And they know like a lot of the same skateboarders I know, like they know Mark and all that.
They know about skating. Like,
yeah, and they know about it.
They know the like trick maybe, yeah.
One of my sisters lives in Colorado Springs, and she was at this bar hanging out there, and she's like, I met this guy. He's really cool. He's a photographer. I was like, oh, cool. And then she was like, the next day, she's like, oh, my gosh, it was Atiba Jefferson. I was like, what? And she was just hanging out with Atiba.
Right.
Because I think Atiba's family lives in the area.
That's cool.
It's just small world stuff.
That is insane. That's super cool.
Yeah.
She's like, to her, it's just, if we would have seen him, been like,
yeah.
Oh my God, it
was funny. But I mean, I think also like a lot of those who we think like are celebs in our world, they're just like normal guys too. And Atiba, I'm sure from what I've heard, I've never hung out with him, but I've heard that he's chill, like he's whatever.
I've heard same thing from like people that were skating and then like they felt like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot with Atiba, but the pressure, and then like they'd go and like Atiba was like chill, like if you don't get a trick, like it don't matter, like he's just chill, like
yeah, like that's what like with my sisters, that's how they were just like, oh, like they know stuff, but it's like that small world stuff where they're like, oh yeah, they had this roll through like Colorado Springs Park, and like this whole team was there. I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Just kind of wanted to ask you sort of like now I don't know if you're familiar with like sort of mental health issues and stuff, and like a lot of guys are like taking their own lives, and a lot of male loneliness and stuff. I know it's kind of like a random question, but there's people that I think that we all know someone that we've lost these people early on in our lives, and it's sad to say. Do you like I guess if you had any advice to people, do you have any advice for guys out there, like if you're going through hard times? Like I think it's something that I think we see a lot of that going on in the world, Yeah, it's sad to see some people just maybe they're lonely, or they're like going through hard times or drugs, or
I think with men it's unfortunately difficult, but you always have to have somebody there, right? And you always have to let people know that you're there, because that's how guys are. We're stupid, man. Like we don't like
check up, like, yo, you right?
We don't like a checkup, or we don't like that. But I think it's always good to have like a fail-safe person, so to speak, male or female. Some people don't have a partner in their lives. Yeah. So like myself, I can talk to my wife about like how I'm feeling. I'm comfortable with that. I can talk to my sisters, and I can talk to some of my good friends. Some of my friends I've known my whole life. Some people don't have that. If anybody gets in that state, I would hope they could seek me out if they were looking for that, for sure.
Just somebody to talk to.
Yeah. There's been plenty, unfortunately, in my life, there's been plenty of people that have taken their own lives that I knew or was acquaintances with, or that kind of thing. It's like, damn, I wish you would have talked to me. But it's like, sometimes you just lose touch. You get busy with the 9 to 5, and the house, we got to do this at the house, and you got to do that. And it sucks, because then you realize, like, man, if I just would have, like, reached out, or if they just would have known I was available. And like I think right now I take some conversations more to heart, especially like on social media. If you're connecting through Instagram, I don't have a Facebook anymore, but like I know some people still use that. But like even messaging on that and just the smallest things, I think mean a lot to people right now, especially men. Women and men have their own stressors in their lives, and some of them are the same. But like right now, you're seeing a lot of that, and I think even through skateboarding, you've seen more of a push to like talk about that.
Yeah,
with the whole Ben Ramers thing, that was a shock to me. That was sad. But they have like their own foundation now. Like that's cool, and I think some people still have this kind of machismo attitude about it, but it's kind of dying down to me. But I think it's good to connect. It's good to see how people are doing, even if it's just like, hey, are you okay? What's up? Like, hey, do you want to go skate? Hey, do you want to go get a drink? Or even if they don't drink, like, hey, do you want to go to dinner? Like, and it's like,
to go get coffee or something.
Get a coffee or something. But I have younger friends that they've gone through a lot of shit, and some of them it's like, I want to hang out with them. It's just a matter of connecting, dude. Like getting out there and like try not to give any excuse like not to connect. Yeah, it's like and it's just like even just checking in through a quick message. It's easier to get a hold of people these days, but sometimes I think a meaningful conversation is really hard to do for some people.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all sort of dealt with some of those struggles. I mean, I know I have, and like it's hard. Yeah, it's hard for guys to open up sometimes. Maybe with your close friends you can, but even then it's kind of like because it's just the culture we're brought up in where it's just like. You're supposed to just deal with it. Like as a guy, you're not supposed to. You should talk and be open with stuff. But that's kind of like the older generations. Like my dad was probably not somebody that was going to tell you much, if anything, of what he was really going through. Just like they just like grinded through it or something. Like you
just push through it.
Yeah, it's just like God, push those feelings down. You just keep going. Yeah,
but I think I'm to the point right now on social media where it's like. I have to know my limits, but I think there's also like a meme culture of like depression, young men depression that they cover it up with memes and women too. You're
like, laughing it off, sort of.
You laugh it off, but you're also like kind of like, hey, like
making fun of yourself.
I wish somebody would probably call me. Yeah. Can you read through these memes I'm sending?
Yeah.
And some of them, like I mean, I've had some people like post myself. I'm like, oh, like, hey, are you okay? And like going through tough time or something like, yeah, well, like, let me know if you're all right or, whatever, It's so easy though for the person to be like, it's fine, I'm cool, but they don't want to like even say. Yeah. And like some of my friends, I'm cool. Like I'm pretty close with those. Be like, oh man, it's just been a shit week and, kids this and, that. And it's like, okay, I get it. Or like, sometimes it's not even like the family. It's just like, I'm just having a hard time, like just figuring out what I want to do next. And, all the stressors in life right now that you hear, you're bombarded by everything. Like the economy sucks. Oh, the economy is okay. Oh, like, blah, 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 this. Oh, like all this, everybody's dying in this country. Everything's fucked in this country. It's like, I mean, you can only take so much as a person.
Sometimes I just can't see the news. Like even the social media feed, I'm just like, not today. Like this is just...
No,
I don't. It's gonna bum me out. You go to church still, or are you still?
No, not as much as I used to, but I'm in it, man. Like I'm my main friends are from that. Are from that church. We don't all go to the same church anymore. Some of us don't go to church anymore, but we all came from that. My wife always tells me this, like you what you had growing up was so special because a lot of people don't have that. We had to find friends in our high schools or in our neighborhoods. You had this connection of where your parents sought out to create a community that was faith-based, and they basically hoped that y'all kept it going. Some of us didn't, but whatever. I'm still connected in some way.
Yeah.
I still respect all those people. I'll still probably show up maybe once or twice a year. I get told to go like every other Sunday, but my parents aren't even in town as much as they used to, so they don't really have a home church, so to speak.
Right.
But they have their faith. I mean, my parents are at the age where, like, I think for them, faith is what they need, and they don't need to go to a building to do it.
Yeah.
But some people need that.
Yeah.
I get it. Some people, like, I always relate it to work, unfortunately, which sounds mean, but it's like, I don't have to be in the office to work. I can work from home. I'm told to go 3 days into the office, so I'm going to go. And I respect it, and that's my job. But like, for some people, they don't need to go into a temple, a church, a synagogue. They just need to have their faith at home.
That's a good point. And I think it's like a community, right? Like
yes.
We all need that community to feel that we're a part of something. And it's just something that I don't know, kind of like wanted to bring up because it's interesting. And I think that's sort of what we all need. And that's what we get through skateboarding.
Yes.
I think, through music, through art, through your friends that you're doing stuff with, you guys are getting together, and it's been so great, like just getting to know you over the years and then seeing what Bustos and the OMC guys, everybody just like building spots and adding to the scene, creating spots out of nothing. Like to me, that is something that I just motivates. I get more hype seeing like the older guys do slappies, and I'm like, I want to go skate. It's more than that than it is to see like whoever's latest thrasher part.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'd rather see people that I know are still doing it.
Yeah,
even if they're older than me, I'm like, yes, like that's that. I'm hyped. Like I want to see like Fleming, like he's fucking sick ass slappies, and I'm just like, oh man, like,
skating with that guy.
I still can't do slappies, but
it was like, it's like.
But I mean, I love it. I love the community. I love the Flatland stuff. It's to me, that community is something that we everybody needs community, and that's what keeps us.
Yeah,
grounded.
I was joking like with my wife the other day. I think one of those older Instagram accounts put up something like where it's like the wife and the husband, and so she's saying like, so you're telling me you skate every Sunday? And he's like, yes, this is my religion. I guess you can call myself a holy roller, like just like dad humor. But it's like, yeah, like I kind of replaced skateboarding with that per se, because a lot of it is community. And even if I don't see these guys every day, it's like being with that community is fun. Like I can't go to every sesh, time. And also like I need time between sessions nowadays. I can't sesh every single day. My body will hate me. But I think people take that for granted when they get older too, is that community. And also being part of other communities. Like some people who don't skate, they find it in art, they find it in cooking, being a good master griller. I know dudes that like that's their passion, to grill amazing.
Yeah.
And,
Sam, right?
Yeah.
Obviously you do. Dude, that guy loves to grill, man. He's good on a barbecue pit.
There you go.
He's incredible. Dude, that guy can just fucking cook some food. Like, I'm just like, damn, sick.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Hire him.
Yeah, I think the DIY stuff, I mean, that came about so weird. And I don't want to go too far down that track, but like, it basically came about because I think we were, to me, being honest, I was seeing my limitations at a park and going like, I can't do all this.
Yeah.
I love that it's perfect. I love that the ground is smooth, but there's just some stuff I know I can't do anymore. And I think that's what came with like fixing up Habby and doing stuff where it's like, oh, I can do that. And then like even my backyard, which I don't think you've skated. Like,
you got that.
I got the quarter, the concrete quarter.
I forget.
Yeah, the concrete quarter was just basically like, hey, we just got a house. My wife was like super cool enough to be like, you can do this. And that was kind of one of our first real bigger builds. And our house was a guinea pig. It's still there. And I think we just realized we get a lot of enjoyment creating, even if we can't skate what we just built for you. Like, I want to see somebody do something on it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I'm happy to see that there's other crews out there doing it. And I've participated with some of those other crews that are essentially like the OMC ideas or like Bustos idea. But like, there's other guys doing it and they're younger and they have a different view of stuff. So it's cool. And just like, I was at a spot the other day where literally I thought I was going to skate and I ended up mixing concrete for like 40 minutes. And then I skated, but it's just like so random. It's just like, you want to do it? I'll help you. Like, let's go. And like, next thing you know, you're like building something and you're like, okay, let's skate, let it dry. Yeah. But it's like one of those things, like I probably might be doing that later too.
Hell yeah.
But it's like one of those things where like, I think that has actually prolonged me skateboarding because I love creating that. And again, it's creativity, right? So it's like, for me, it's like, creating a song. It's like I get to create this obstacle and see if it works, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, sometimes they fall apart. But that's what I always say about DIY spots. I'm like, you should really skate it like it's your last day to skate it.
That's true.
Because you never know what this city's going to do. I mean, we've been lucky enough, I think, in San Antonio where nothing's really got too messed with.
Magic Ledges is gone.
Yeah. It's like some of the DIY spots that we've built, I'm like, how is that still there? Like,
yeah.
I don't understand.
Remember 36 Ditch?
Yeah.
I feel like some DIY spots just get abandoned. People just stop skating them, and they're like, you know, the ledges eventually, like, but...
I mean, yeah, that was like one of the first spots I started skating again.
Yeah, I probably started running into a lot of you guys around that time. I think like Lou first. Lou was like kind of like the one that I kind of met everybody through too, sort of. Yeah. All through just skating, and you know, it just like happens. It's so natural, right?
It is.
You go there, you meet some people, then you keep running into them, and you know, yeah.
I mean, like Lou and those guys. Like, I'm pretty sure I skated with Lou when I was younger. We just didn't realize it. Right. But his friend Peter, I knew him through the music scene and art scene. So then when Peter started skating, he brought Lou, and that's when I really met Lou and little Louie and little Ricky back then. They're all big boys now. But then like my friend Leonard, who I met in the music scene, who I didn't even know skated, he started skating again, and that's when I met Bustos again, which I believe I met Bustos maybe at the warehouse. I don't remember. I met him somewhere. But it's like one of those things. You see each other. It's been like 15, 20 years, you know. You're like, hey, what's up? But like Weed again, known him forever. And everybody else, just kind of, you just meet, you know. It's all like, that's how it is with skateboarding. Probably the same thing in the art world and you know, music world. Yeah. You start playing with bands or going to art shows. But like, I think the skate scene here is becoming like very communal. Everybody kind of respects everything. I love what some of the local board companies are doing. Like Ugly is probably one of the most positive teams I've seen around. Like Lance is doing something really good. And they're all over the place. They skate all over the place. I mean, Josh with Signal is like, I love what he's doing. I always like what Josh has been doing artistic, and his skateboarding is nuts. Yeah, it's got the music. I think his vision is very different with his board company and clothing company, whatever his company, right? You know, and there's no illusion for him. He's like, I'm doing this because I want to do it. Yeah, kind of like how Lance is with Ugly. He's like, I'm doing this because I want to do it. I'm not here to make money, you know. Yeah, you know. And I don't know any of the guys from like Days or anything, but they seem cool. Yeah, they rip. Eddie Middleton, and I don't know. I'm sure there's other companies I'm leaving out, but like those three pop up right away. Like, yeah. It's just like there's a lot of like passion in the stuff that we do, and I think that a lot of the guys that are doing the local stuff, I think it's just cool because it's just like your passion thing. Like, I want to do this. It's probably not going to make any money, but it's not about the money. It's about just bringing like my take to whatever it is. Yeah, it's cool to be a part of Signal. Are you like? I'm officially a part of it. I'm on, which is humbling. Yeah. You're gonna have I'm gonna have to like footage work now. No. Yeah, we have some things in mind. It'll be fun. I like the approach he's doing right now. At the same time, the next All of Us video is going to start soon recording. Perfect. So I'm going to have to like split my time. Yeah. But what I'm doing is cool because there was stuff like where I have footage that I wanted to get, but I couldn't get at that spot. So I'm already talking to Bustos about that. I want to go back here, or I want to go here. Yeah. We don't have any footage from here. And then with Josh, he has me lined up to do some stuff, and it'll be fun. Yeah. That's so cool to see you like on we're on the same teams. Yeah, essentially we are. Yeah. And like he's very much like chill about it. Yeah. You know. But then like when I brought up some stuff, he was like, "Oh yeah, like let's do that." Like I didn't even think about that. And I'm like, "Yeah." Like he's like, "Okay." So like, you know, it's just like after a while it's like, "Oh, maybe we can go here." And he's like, "Yeah, let's do that." And I'm like, "Let's go to your house." And I'm like, "Okay." So yeah. But then he wasn't even talking about the skate stuff from my house. He was talking about like all of like the artwork at my house and like all my gear and all this stuff. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool to see too. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Like when he told me, I was like, dang, that's awesome, dude. Like I think I was kind of like stunned, but I'm also like, that's cool because I do like what he's doing. I mean, I like skating with you. Nicholas is like a wizard, you know, being in there like behind the scenes and stuff.
Dude's getting good.
And he's getting
those fucking slasher grinds. Like, dude, I've seen him progress so much through like just a couple years of knowing him.
He's getting some of those back 50s like so long.
So fucking good, dude. Yeah, he's sick. And
he's like still hooping. I think he started to play ball again.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
You're more fit than all of us.
Yeah, man. He's such an amazing photographer. Like, it's incredible. I love his stuff.
He gets out to Hayes at
early
7 a.m. And I keep telling him, there's one day I'm going to get out there, dude. Like,
I know.
I'm going to get out there. Because I'm like, I already wake up for work at 6. Like, and if I'm working from home, maybe I'll just drive over there. And never fails. I'm like, I'll just
I need another
15
hour.
minute, you know, and then like, oh, I'm not gonna make.
Yeah,
I need to get out there with him because he was telling me like, and then some of the same dudes we skate with are out there.
Yeah,
like Adam Madrigal has been out there, but he gets out there like at 8, I think.
Yeah,
so
I always see him during the week out there. Like he's.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know schedule, but that's sick. I'm like, man, I go to work Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I haven't officially skated Hayes. I've only hung out there, but. I hung
out there. I never officially skated either.
I know what I want to hit up, and I know what I want to stay away from.
Yeah,
because that park, I heard that park's quick. So
yeah, no, man. But I guess you know, if you have any shout outs or any closing, thing to say.
Thank you for having me on this. I know, like for you, like you were saying, like you know, this is like a new thing, which I think is cool. Like I think this is like another creative outlet. So like. Yeah, thanks for having me. You know, Signal, OMC guys, like all my homies, wife, family, you know, like they've all supported me through this. They've all supported me through everything. So it's like one of those things that I think sometimes we as skateboarders, especially elder skateboarders, we forget like how long we've been doing this, and we forget the knowledge we know. And like you said earlier, like somebody's take on something else that'll spark that memory for somebody else. We're like, oh yeah, like I remember that spot, or I remember that dude, or I remember that band we used to go see. So like I think it's cool to like get perspectives from different people of all age groups. But yeah, I mean the San Antonio scene in general, as much as people like to be kind of weird about SA, like I'm glad it's doing so well, and I feel it's doing really good in every aspect as far as music and skateboarding and art. I think there's a lot to offer, and once you get over the whole, I guess, bummed out, like, oh, we're in the shadow of Austin thing. Like, nah. We have our own thing. So shout out San Antonio. We're doing fine.
Yeah. No, man. Yeah. Cool, man. Thanks for coming on, the first guest. So that's pretty great.
Yeah.
I kind of have a name for the podcast. I think I'm going to call it the Famous Cat Podcast.
Nice.
Just because that's my nickname for my cat. He's the Famous Cat, which... It's just some stupid thing I just made up.
I know. I was kind of stoked to see the cats too. So
yeah. Oh yeah, Randy. That's you know, Josh is my roommate for now, and my cat has a roommate too because he's got a cat. So, but we both have like roomies, you know. So it's cool. But yeah, dude. Yeah, first guest, man. Thanks for coming on,
yes,
and I can't wait to have more people on. And
look at all the old podcasts of like, you know, all the big guys now. Like they were rough in the beginning.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I think you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, cool, man. But I guess that's it, man. Appreciate it, dude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's put a stop on this thing.